Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are back for another match of Super Rugby Pacific. It's the South Island Derby, Crusaders versus Highlanders. Now, these two sides have already met in the Super Rugby season. That one went the way of the Landers down in Dunedin, but now it happens again. Only about less than a month later than the last meeting. The sides look strong in terms of their starting lineups, and there will be a few intriguing battles taking place out there on the field. But looking through at the starting lineup, first of all, for the home side, the Crusaders, this is Finley Brewis alongside Cody Taylor and Fletcher Null. There's been a few injuries in the hooker department for the Crusaders. We saw Cody Taylor out with a rib injury. George Bell, he was out with a foot injury, but he's actually making his way off of the bench in this game. So hopefully he's 100%, because you don't often see it that a player is in a side who is still on that injury list of a team. As well, Antonio Shalfoon and Taylor Cahill, they will be in the locking duo with Ethan Blackadder, Johnny Lee, and Christian Leo Willie as the loose forwards. Now, it's quite intriguing because losing Gardner and Hanna both to injury in the same week for the Crusaders, those two men have been going quite well as a combination. And now all sorts of switches happening for this Crusaders side. Christian Leo Willie, though, he's coming off a hat-trick in his last outing, so we'll want to back that up with another strong performance here. Noah Hotham and Rayvez Rayhana as that 19 combination. Severise out on the left wing. David Havili and Braden Enor in the midfield with Che Fiaki and the return of Will Jordan last week. He was not there for the game up against the Blues. I can tell you right now, they'll be more than happy to have him back for this match as well. I should mention Leo Willie. I think it was actually 2 matches ago that he got his hat-trick rather than against the Blues, was it? Or have I got my weeks completely mixed up? For the Highlanders, Ethan DeGroot, Jack Taylor, Angus Ta'aval as the front rowers. Thomas Lavanini, the Argentine international, gets himself a start here. We haven't seen him as of yet in Super Rugby Pacific. He has been a part of the experimental or developmental side for the Landers, but he's now earned himself a starting cap here for the Landers. In Christchurch, Mitchell Dunshea, he will partner with him in the locking duo. TK Howden, Sean Withy, and Lucas Casey, they make up the loose forward trio. For Lau Whakatava and Cam Miller. Now, last year, at this ground, Cam Miller missed a last-minute kick to take it to Golden Point up against the Crusaders at Orange Theory Stadium. That one will still be relatively fresh on his mind, but of course he's had quite a few match-winning kicks since then. Seems cool and calm under pressure. It's a great head-to-head with Rayvez Rayhana versus Cam Miller. Jonah Nariki out on the left wing. Timothy Tavatavanawa and Tenuelu Talia to make up the midfield after Lois suffered a bit of an injury there. Caleb Tangitel and Jacob Ratamaitavuki Nepkins as that number 15. What's up, C's MPT? Welcome in. Hope you are doing well. All we have got is Johnny Lee Good. He's all right from what I've seen. Of course, it's a big opportunity to get chucked into the deep end in a starting lineup alongside Blackadder and Leo Willie, but should go all right throughout this matchup. I'd say we have got the love your work, Kiwi Lads. Says Steve, thank you very much. Greatly appreciated. And Rayvez Rayhana, is he any good? Never heard of him. Says Jack Lewis, have you been watching any Super Rugby over the last year or so out of curiosity, Jack? Because Rayvez Rayhana, he's actually had a lot of starts for the Crusaders in that number 10 department. He suffered a couple short-term injuries along the way, but him and Taha Kimura are the two young guys that the Crusaders have been looking at as future fly-half options. We saw him play that starting role with O'Connor off the bench last year quite a bit as well. And he also was involved in that first match of champion versus champion between the Crusaders and Munster a couple years ago as well. Let's go Lavanini in there. I must have lost my mind, Babs. I don't know. I watch most weeks, says Jack. But no, he's been around. He played last week for the Crusaders as the 10 option. I'm looking forward to Lavanini's debut, says Zakiah there. Who do you reckon will win? Well, the Crusaders have got a decent record up against the Highlanders in their last few meetings, but the intriguing part is 6 of the 9 last games between these two sides, we've seen it be separated by 3 or less, including the game that took place in Christchurch last year between these two teams as well. So honestly, it could be a pick-em contest that could easily go in either direction, but thoroughly excited to see how this one goes. I don't like this commentator, says Jordan. Are you talking about me or are you talking about the one at the actual game? I assume you're talking about the one at the game, maybe, but I couldn't be sure. Oh, we have got there. When you keep losing money like me, you try to forget. And I have Crusaders halftime full-time in this game. Need a good start. And tell you what, the Rumbies can get effed, says Gavin. You did say that they were going to, what was it, piss in the Fijian draw, which I didn't really know what that meant. But obviously it didn't mean lose by 15 points up against them, right? As high-pitched voice and calls it terrible. The actual one says Jordan there. Yep, I think it'll be close, but in the Crusaders' favour. Of course, I'm biased. Blenheim Gal says Zakaya there too. Now making their way out onto the field for the Highlanders. Few empty seats in attendance for this game, which is actually really surprising. I thought this one would have been sold out for the South Island derby between the two teams. But Thomas Lavanini, Super Rugby debut for that man for the Highlanders. 138 club matches, 91 test matches for the Argentines. Jeff MC, whatever his name is, says Jordan. And also we have got there, Kelda Hamish Rose says, Matthew, welcome in. Hope you are doing extremely well. Hope you're excited for this game. Jordan Way, the referee in charge of this one, rocking a new haircut. James Leckie, the man in charge of the TMO, and Murphy and Markey, we the two on the touchline. They got the 40 bomb down, says Zoc there, and hopefully the Crusaders win, says Matthew. Yeah, they've had a bit of an up and down start to the season for the Crusaders, but they have got enough talent out there on the field to be able to get back in the right direction. As you can see, that opening contest up against the Highlanders, they did lose by the 2 points. They were beaten by the Brumbies in Christchurch, and then had that win up against the Chiefs, lost to the Blues. They're 1-3 at the moment in terms of wins to losses. But this one here at Orange Theory, it can all change this season, and it's just now kicking off for the rematch between the Crusaders and the Highlanders, taken there by Lucas Casey. These are the recent matches for the Highlanders too, having 2 great wins over the Crusaders and the Chiefs in the early stages, losing to the Reds in one-sided fashion, and then also having that win up against the Western Force. But the ball in the hand of the Crusaders after the kick downfield from the Highlanders. Looks like Reves Rehana is going to be going for the box kick. Dunshea has to make sure he stays onside. I don't think it will be too long until we see Thomas Lavanini getting into the action. There's a collision there between Will Jordan and Lucas Casey. In fact, it was TK Howden. Fakatava away to the left-hand side. Highlanders in the shade here, about 30 metres out from their own goal line. I think it's a draw for this game. It was almost last year. They were actually only one missed kick from Miller away from going to Golden Point. Crusaders will win. Why? Because Will Jordan is back. And if we lose, we are effed. We will win out of necessity because we need home playoffs, says Neil. And yeah, the perfect example of the Crusaders, I guess, in terms of those playoff games. And you could argue it doesn't matter hugely what you do up till the stage, but you have to make sure you're close to that top 4 because, you know, last year having that home field advantage up against the Chiefs, even though they finished quite low down in the rankings because of the Chiefs losing their playoff game in the round of 6, it meant that they pretty much gave away their home field advantage, and the final ended up in Christchurch. Unless the Highlanders do what the Chiefs do to our captain and try and put him in a coma, says Neil. And we have got their guaranteed winning tip for our resident gamblers as the South Island team will win this game. There you go. Unless it's a draw, in which case you'd have 2 different sides angry at you. Isn't it a sellout? It doesn't look it. There's quite a few empty seats at this point in time. Big scrum here early on. Just the Highlanders to concede the scrum early. Going to be a reset. Fletcher Null having a bit of a conversation there with Ethan de Groot and the referee. What do you mean low down? We finished second, says Neil Bennett. Well, like in terms of not having top qualifying spot, because they still got that home final. Even though the Chiefs were higher up in the rankings, which is what I was referring to, with the fact that, like, as long as you win your round of 6 game and whoever's number 1 doesn't, there's a chance of that home final being on the cards. Now, Jacob Ratamaitavuki Nepkins showing a close-up with him. He's up against Will Jordan in this head-to-head here. No, Hotham to feed this ball into the scrum. Jacob Ratamaitavuki Nepkins. I think he'll have a few one-on-one tackles to make. I'm going for the Landers. I'm sick of the Saders. Always winning, says Kiwi Rob, although they've only won 1 game this year out of their 4 matches. Hotham going short side, decides to run it himself before being tackled by TK Howden. Christian Leo Willie. They can go again. Moving up to the 22 line for the Crusaders. Ethan Blackadder. Looks for the offload. Does give it off to Brewis. Got a few injuries in the propping department at the moment for a lot of these sides. Crusaders missing, I believe it is, Kariru signs for a couple weeks with his injury. Now thought about going wide. They've also got Tamaiti Williams out for a suspension of 3 weeks. Now Hotham goes back left. Blackadder carries the ball forward. Haven't made a huge amount of meters as of yet here. Now running this one for Christian Leo Willie. Now left-hand side, Hotham. Going across to David Harvilli. Now we can win away playoffs. Blues 2022, Chiefs 2023, Lions 2017. Just not home quarters or semis. Those are pretty tough because then you have to win 3 away games. Like the Blues would have to. No, a nice run here from Will Jordan. Almost ankle tapped, and he may have still got it down, Will Jordan. Back from the wedding and ready to go in this game for the Crusaders to strike early on the board in Christchurch. Well, Jordan looked like he was doing a little bit of the dance moves he would have been pulling off at the wedding. The ankles were going back and forth all over the place as he was trying to finish that one off. Kept on getting the ankle taps, but kept on running towards the line. We're going to see it now. Nariki just getting sold the wrong way. Missed tackle from Pakatava. And then Will Jordan trying his best not to pull his ACL as he finished that one off and does score the try. Jordan says bad to the bone. Looks a nice afternoon in Christchurch. Yeah, looks like a great evening for this contest to be taking place. But 3 men trying to stop Will Jordan from scoring that try, and none of them able to stop him. And hi, Kiwi Lad says, Team in the 11th, welcome in. Hope you are doing well. The Crusaders get off to a flying start here at Apollo Project Stadium. Reves Rehana sitting 77% accuracy, I should say, in the kicking department. And that one, had a little bit of a late drift to the right, and it will miss away to the side. So that'll make the score 5-0 in favour of the Crusaders. Nariki also doesn't know how to attack anymore. Just chip it straight to the opposition. He's a real bad man, says MPT. William Jordan, the man, the myth, the legend. Will Jordan says sock there. Just runs forward. You had to say, Falau Pakatava, it wasn't just Nariki who made a mistake there. Pakatava looked like he went for an ankle tap and a move that maybe could have warranted trying to get that little bit closer for the tackle. And then 3 players for the Highlanders not able to hold Will Jordan up over the goal line. Hotham kicking this one downfield though, just outside of the Crusaders. 22 knock on from Jacob Ratamatavuki Nepkins. Now the Crusaders back in possession once more. Will Jordan is overrated, said absolutely no one ever. So which part of him is overrated, Kiwi Rob? Is it the fact that he almost scores in every game he plays in, or like something to do with his last-ditch defence that is very strong? Which part of it would you say? Beautiful hands from Will Jordan, passes on the outside. I'd assume it's also maybe his passing that is normally very strong. You'd say that's his overrated part? Or is it just the fact that he doesn't wear a blue kit that gets to you a little bit? 40 metres out from the line, Hotham. Going right-hand side, Jordan plays first receiver. Offloads to Reves Rehana now. Sitting 40 metres out from the line. Yep, he's all right player. Not as good as me when I was young. Bloody kids stopped me from being a great Japanese player. I like Johnny Lee says Jordan, and that is a penalty early for the Crusaders here. 40 metres out from the goal line. France have one off against Scotland. They're still favourites for the Rugby World Cup 2027. And the score should have not been 50 points to 40. It should have been 43-33. The tries in the game should not have been given. We have got there. I don't what you think, Hamish, but I don't like the Crusaders' over-reliance on Will Jordan. When we were winning championships, we weren't over-relying on one player. What do you think? I think that the difference between Will Jordan being out there and not is night and day at the moment. Like, you look at last week up against the Blues, they just look lost on attack. You bring Jordan back in and he scores within 5 minutes for this game. All flat ball to Braden Enoch, but it is knocked on, and again knocked on by Jona Nariki. They'll go back for a Highlanders scrum about 20 metres out from their goal line. Now, ready for Highlanders' first scrum feed, I believe, of this one. Kiwi Rob strikes again, says Matthew. Why? Because he's a South Islander, says Akaya. And 48 fantasy points for my captain, Will Jordan, already. And Jordan is a superstar fact. Please don't argue with the chat. Just ignore them, mate, says Wade. Well, I had to slightly defend Will Jordan there. I don't think many people have called him overrated at all throughout his career. But, sometimes firing back with facts is the best way of dealing with it. I just don't like Will Jordan. Why not? What's he done? Is it because he's good, or is it because of his face? You don't like the fact that the ladies love him, or is it the fact that, like I said, he plays for the Crusaders and not the Blues, your side? Now, advantage in favour of the Highlanders at scrum time. A good solid push there. Pakatava looking for the cross kick. Jonah Nariki going after it, but it does go into touch. They'll go back for the penalty. Well, the Crusaders all the way. There's a Salah there. What's he up with tries versus games? They mentioned it earlier on, but I was talking over it, unfortunately. But I think he's still at about 80% strike rate, somewhere around there throughout his Super Rugby career. And also All Blacks-wise, he's right up there too, numbers-wise. Now Cam Miller kicking this one into touch. Are you man? You only say it. You're the only one who can say bad things about the ref, says Demon the 11th. But yeah, big push there from the Highlanders scrum, and that will build a bit of confidence for them early on in this contest. Yes, they haven't had the best numbers in terms of possession as of yet, but if they can win the set piece, it definitely help them in the right direction. Big run from Lucas Casey now, 35 metres out for Lauwhakatava. Go on, put the chip in behind. Caleb Tangitau waiting for the bounce of the ball, but it sits up for Reves Rehana. Takes it 10 metres out from the Crusaders line. And same, I guess, what Crusaders fans say about Mackenzie a little bit. It's that alliance to certain sides. Nice offload from Harvilli. Here goes Will Jordan again looking for the offload. They'll go back for the penalty. Will Jordan is the best player in his position. I said no, Will Jordan, no chance. And they didn't beat the Blues, did they? Says Shane. And what this ref says, Jordan, it is a man who shares your name. It's Jordan Way, Jordan. A penalty on the way of the Crusaders for no release. It's against Lucas Casey. And not this Crusaders supporter because he's a Southland boy. So here's Zakaya. And ever thought about being an auctioneer. I've had it mentioned to me before, as well as like a horse racing commentator. I sometimes do talk a little bit too fast for my brain to be able to keep up, though. Kiwi Rob needs to have a cone, says Matthew. Possession 75% in favour of the Crusaders at this point in time. Another line out here, 40 metres out from the Highlanders line. Cody Taylor, another successful one for him. That was a weird drop from David Harvilli. Just an open play, no pressure on him. Does end up letting it slip through the fingertips of the Highlanders, now in position on the halfway. For the steal on the breakdown, Johnny Lee does get the ball, so they'll go back for the scrum yet again. Difficult to Leah, missing a tackle, probably one of many, says Jordan. Second that says MPT. The Crusaders will win, says Nasoni. And there, anyone who hasn't already, be sure to get through your score predictions. I'm Max, says Ange, welcome back. 146 matches for David Harvilli. He is closing in on the 150. Crowd, it does look reasonably full. There are a few spaces that they don't have many people, like in terms of that top corner. A few men dressed as bananas. In the stands as well. It's a decent crowd, says Jordan. Yeah, there's a lot of happy faces at the moment after the way that the Crusaders have started. Oh, free kick goes the way of the Highlanders at scrum time. So, yeah, a bit of an issue here for the Crusaders early on in the scrum department. Oh, trying to go for the offload there was for Lauwhakatava. It hasn't worked out. Ball goes back for the Crusaders. Kick ball by Jonah Nariki. And, well, goal kicked by Will Jordan, although there was the knock-on on the ground. Protected the chance of it being grubbered through for Jonah Nariki to score the try, though, so well played from Jordan there. He has a bit of a conversation with Ethan de Groot, his All Blacks teammate. Sorry, Hamish, I'm late for this game. I was preparing some snacks for this game. Looks like a solid start for the Satyrs, 5-0. And don't go quick like that, says Jordan. And Satyrs 38, Landers 27 for Matthew's scoreline. That would be a good one to see. You know, a nice high-scoring game. Last year it was 15-12 at this ground. And we did have to wait quite some time before any tries were scored in that match. I just can't see us winning because we rely on Jordan for attack and defence and everything that is not a good team strategy. I agree with you, Hamish. We looked lost without Will last game. And Satyrs by 12. Says Chris is his prediction. Big push here at scrum time from the Highlanders again. Jordan Wade tells them to use it. Whakatava away to Timothy Tava. Nah, why that man beat about 70 defenders last year. He's just beaten another one in Reves Rehana. To let go there for Leo Willie. A big weekend of rugby. No sleep for Hamish, says JP Travels. Yeah, there's going to be very few hours of sleep throughout the next about 48. Of the sevens taking place tomorrow. We've got the cricket that we are hoping to cover on the channel as well. South Africa versus New Zealand. The Moana Pacifica Blues afternoon game. And still after this game, 4 more back to back to back. Hello, says Ali. Welcome in. Crusaders 33-31 for the full-time score. Okay, I'll take that as well. I want to see a high-scoring game between these two sides. Timothy Tava almost breaking through. Now Whakatava away to Casey. A couple men on his outside, so decide to offload Jacob Ratamaita, Vuki Nepkins, Cam Miller goes to Caleb Tangitau, 3 metres short of the try line now for the away side. Step in there was Thomas Lavanini. In fact, that would have actually been Tavo, I believe. Still looking for that first Lavanini touch. And the penalty awarded, double blow of the whistle, yellow card for the Crusaders here. And that is going to be, it looks like Cody Taylor, who is going to be penalised just short of the goal line. Going to miss the Crusaders game, see his alley there. And also for me, the best fullback in the world is Thomas Ramos, with Will Jordan as the best attacking fullback. Hugh Keenan is the best under the high ball. Says Demon the 11th. And I, Hamish from Fiji, says Virasilla, welcome in. Massive victory for the Fijian draw just recently up against the Brumbies. It's opened up the door for someone else to be top of the table at the end of this round. And we have got there, hey Hamish, I know I read that one and tuning in from the Straits of Hormuz. We can see Jimmy the difference lighting it up. Says Simon there too. Ready for the line out, 5 metres out. This is a massive chance for Timothy Tavanawai to have a crack at the line, although a drop ball and line out from Dunshay gives the possession straight back to the Crusaders. That's why Savia is going to be captain. As opposed to who? I assume if you're referring to Scott Barrett, he's not even playing in this game, nor has he played any games throughout this season. Now kick towards the touchline, but Noah Hotham, come on, Crusaders defend. I assume you're talking maybe Cody Taylor, right? You're saying that Taylor's the other guy in the running. And we have got there, Cody is becoming a penalty on 2 legs. So he's invincible. Well, Jordan can play other positions though. That is true. He has got the option of playing out on the wing if needed. Again, the line out lost by Mitchell Dunshay. Taylor was tipped, says Shane. Yeah, although, to be fair, we've seen a fair few Savia yellows. Barrett's, he's collected a few too. He's normally looking at a red card, though. That's going to be now the scrum feed for the Crusaders. And also for the best fullbacks, Ramos, Jordan, Tom Wright, Hugo Keenan and Damien. And up the Chiefs. And also, I can't with this stuff. They choose to keep playing Dunshay and Haig. Do they? I mean, Haig's off the bench. Who would you have had instead? Thomas Lavanini, because he's starting this game. Shaking Granny, says Reese. That'd be an interesting name for a rock band, wouldn't it? Now, Hotham, scrum feed, about 23 metres out from the line here, the Crusaders. The Crusaders player grabbed the arm in that line out, says Kiwi Rob. Papali'i will be kept. He's going overseas. Dalton Papali'i. And Haig has been terrible in the line out too. So who are you going with instead? If you're ditching Dunshay, Haig, you don't have Holland as an option. Who's your replacements? You need 2 more. Because obviously you're happy with Lavanini, but who are your other 2 who are playing in that role? Now running this one forward, Sever Reese looks for the offload, gets it up to Reves Rehana. Jordan has Enor on his outside, 2-man tackle on the AB's fullback. Ting Bland. So who's your third? You still need another one if you're sacking all your locks. Hamish, what do you think about this? Will Jordan, ever since he moved out to fullback, he's been slowing down. Has been one of those experienced heads to get the back line flowing. Says Josiah. I mean, he predominantly does play fullback at Super Rugby level. It's very rare that you would see him out on the wing for the Crusaders. It's only at international level that we saw a lot of Jordan out there. Speaking of being out there, George Bell out there currently. There's another knock on from the Highlanders. And this time it's Dunshay for the hat-trick of errors. And a bit of push and shove now between, it looks like, George Bell and Ethan de Groot. And good boy Will Jordan, says Pro Pleb. And also Crusaders are going to need 30 points. Why? Because we have been conceding like 30 points a game. Will Jordan will take Geordie Barrett's spot. You're putting him as a 12? I feel like there are enough other 12s around that you could look at rather than transitioning Jordan into that type of role. So far, 4 handling errors for both of these sides throughout the first 17 minutes of this match. Is that Johnny Lee? Or is that someone else that they were just showing there? That kind of looked like Johnny Lee. I assume that is because of him going off for George Bell. And it's a change that has been made in the loose forward trio, which means that the Crusaders scrum only has the 7 men at the moment. Will Jordan needs to F off to Japan or Europe. Why? Like, I know you don't like him, so that's the only reason I can think of why you'd want to send him over there. You obviously don't want him getting more money, because that would be a weird thing to want for a guy that you seem to dislike. Dunshea appears to be playing for the Crusaders again, says Jason. And I rate Johnny Lee, says Jordan. Havili into the All Blacks. Why has he not been playing? Unfortunately, he has lacked a little bit of consistency. David Havili, he's been on the verge of making it back in a couple times. But it seems like at the moment, I mean, Barrett has held that jersey for quite some time. Number 12, they've had Tapaya, Timothy Tavanawai as those backup threats. I've taken it off. Barrett, penalty on back, free kick. Goes the way of the Highlanders. Again, the shaky scrum from this Crusaders team. Now going away to the right-hand side. Caleb Tangitau running down the wing. Here's Tenuelu Talia on his inside, who should make it to the try line. He does. And the try for the Highlanders. There was a little bit of a question there from the Crusaders at one point, maybe for obstruction. Will Jordan couldn't stop that one, says Gary Roll. Well, he was on the other side of the field, and to be fair, you'd have to hope that his winger would have done something before that stage to help him out a little bit. And it looks like Ravi's Rayhana was actually the man defending on that far side. No, it was Severis, sorry. Did end up missing that one. And then Jordan put it in the last-ditch effort, but by then it was too late. We see him already going over the line for Tenuelu Talia. Great pass from Jim. And Gary Rowan never said he was perfect in defence, says team in the 11th. Are you happy today because your cricket team won? Says Mahadeen. The juniors did very well in their game. I also did see that we are through to the semi-finals in the T20 comp, or sorry, the 40 over comp, I should say. Don't know if I'll get selected for that semi-final. I've got a terrible average this year with the bat, or at least for the second half of the season. Okay, I'm going to stop listening to your commentary, not because you're not doing a good job, because you are, but I went to Eden Park and saw them lose. I can't handle seeing them again. Says Neil, and now it makes the score sitting 5 points to 5 between these two sides. Went to score with David and Ethan, says MPT. Thank you, Rob, waiting for that so he can pounce like a tiger. He is, meow, says Sock. Yeah, if Jordan scores again, though, you can guarantee nothing will be said. Did you battle bowl? Or do I battle bowl? I do a bit of both. I don't really get to bowl in matches, although there hasn't been a match that I've bowled in that I haven't taken a wicket. So that's something that I'm relatively proud of, but I just don't get to bowl that often. And then batting-wise, I'm normally floating anywhere between opener and about 6. Now kick downfield. Nicely taken by Will Jordan under the high ball. Stays on the side of the Crusaders. Hotham away to the right. Once Christian Leo Willie still playing with a man disadvantage for another 3 minutes in this contest. The Crusaders, good to see Tenuelu Talia scoring. Has lacked or looked like his confidence has been pretty low. So I hope we get him back on the right track. Now told to release. That breakdown for Talia. Now left-hand side again for the Crusaders. Hotham firing it into the hands of Finley Brewis. Steele was almost available there for the Highlanders. Oh, that's actually really dirty from Dunshea there. It's kicked out on the full from Hotham, and there's going to be a bit of push and shove here afterwards. What Dunshea's decided to do there is rather than going for the charge down, he's decided to target Noah Hotham's leg that he was kicking off. It was actually a really pretty rough play. We're going to see the replay now. So Hotham kicks it. And yeah, Dunshea decides to chop at the leg that's planted. We're going to see the replay. There was nothing there that showed that Dunshea wasn't literally going for a bit of a grub play there. And I get that he's frustrated. He's dropped the ball 3 times already throughout this game. But that could have been the season ender for Hotham. Right, Jordan Way has pretty much just said that was not necessary. And speak to the players. And we have got there, I'm watching. I love listening to your commentary, Hamish. The best, says Moa Hunter. Thank you very much. There has to be a yellow at least. I would have thought so. But he's been led away with it a little bit there. The worst thing is you can see in the replay, his eyes had no intention of trying to charge that down. He looked at the limb of Noah Hotham and went, I'm going to smash into that and try and do some damage. Coming from a Highlanders fan, I'm glad Hotham is okay, says Jordan. This one's going to be thrown into the back. Jack Taylor, now stolen. Dunshea unable to grab that line out either. So his day goes from bad to worse as he makes his 5th mistake of the day. Now Hotham goes back across to the left-hand side. Bell with the short ball to Antonio Shalfoon. Now right-hand side. Sevu Reese. We have got there, piss off Dunshea, says Jordan. Missing our Viking lot, says Shane in there too. Left-hand side, Reves Rehana to Blackadder. Halfway line now for the Crusaders as they start to put a few more phases together. Come on, Landers. Says Haino trying to break the 9. Nice offload to Hotham from Taylor Cahill. Sever Reese plays half. Will Jordan thought about a cross kick. Didn't see anyone down there, so instead we'll go for a strategic kick in behind. Nariki takes it near the sideline. Doesn't have a lot of angle to work with. Kicks it back in field. It's a very strong boot from Nariki. Ball with Will Jordan just outside of his 22 now. Look to kick it down the middle of the field. Bounces to Jacob Ratamai-Tavuki Nepkins. Hotham is the second best Hotham. Says Kiwi Robo, I assume you're referring to his sister. Nay, Hamish, I'm watching it live on Super Sport. Just wanted to ask what's wrong with the Highlanders line. I think it's just under pressure at the moment. And yeah, I don't know whether it's the call or something. Tell the rest of the world, run it straight, cuz. Says Virtual Plumbing, and Arvili is injured. Yeah, looks like he is done at the moment. He's trying to put a bit of weight. It seems like he's holding the back of the leg, maybe somewhere in the ACL or, ankle region for David Arvili, but it looks like he is done for the day, which will bring Dallas McLeod more than likely, I would think, onto the park. It does make sense as a straight sub for the 12 jersey. And that is what they've gone with here for the Crusaders. It's the call had been all year, and Highlanders, you better win or I'll lose my bet, says Vindicta. Rehana moving. I like Rihanna. Is that good or bad? Because I feel like people like the way that Rehana moves. So is that like you're saying he's doing good? Right? Or is that as an insult? I'm not sure. It sounds like it could be either way. His hips are not lying. Is that what you're saying? Although that's more so Shakira. Now kick downfield. Close to the sideline. Nariki lets it bounce, and it's actually going to stay in the field of play. The Highlanders have put themselves under a bit more pressure there for Jacob Ratamai-Tavuki Nepkins. Just outside of the 22. Do you want the rest of the world to run it straight at the same time or one by one? It might be a tricky thing to pull off. I'm going to be in Hong Kong for 1 hour and 20 minutes. And Singapore for 8 hours. Now, going down field with the box kick from Falau Fakatawa. And this one does find touch. Now, we have got there Shane Wales are a mess. Although they do have a big opportunity up against the Italians coming up in the near future. Dunshea is pulling Nill's leg now. Thailand, I meant it as an insult, but I can see why some would see it as a compliment. You see, I wasn't sure if it was like that you're saying he's got... Yeah, because like Rihanna, she does a bit of dancing too, so I thought maybe dancing feet of Reves Rehana. Kick towards the sideline from Will Jordan. Goes out just outside of the 22, or no, in fact, inside is the call from Damon Murphy. And we have got there Dunshea. Oh no, I read that one. 26 minutes through now. 5-all between these two sides. Still very close. Now the Highlanders looking for that big pass or that big play to get them out of their own half. They have spent quite a bit of time inside of their own territory throughout the first 26. Taken by Reves Rehana. Goes across to Will Jordan. Now skip pass to Dallas McLeod. He has a big old knock on of that one. And then a knock on from the Crusaders on the ground. So it will be the advantage for the Highlanders. We have got there Kiwi Rob loves Hamish's commentary. Oh, trying to get that steal with the ball. It is. Would you call it a deliberate knockdown from Taylor Cahill in that case? He sent one hand up for it. Didn't have a lot of opportunity to actually be able to take it cleanly. But it's just the knock-on advantage as the call. Thomas Lavanini plays half, the big Argentine. Brings a lot of experience. Angus Ta'avao now breaking the line. He's got to go on the outside to Jacob Ratamaitavuki Nepkins, who scores the try for the Highlanders. Raves Reihana just not able to get back in time. And Ratamaitavuki Nepkins scores the try. That gives the Highlanders the lead. Loving this game. Going to be a grand year for New Zealand Rugby, says Virtual Plumbing. And Jacob Ratamaitavuki Nepkins, says Jordan there. We have, are you kidding me, bro? I am not kidding. They have had the pass. It was Thomas Lavanini who started it as the halfback. Then Ta'avao had the clean break. And then Raves Reihana just not quite quick enough to catch up with Jacob Ratamaitavuki Nepkins. It was the short ball from Miller as well. Deserves a lot of credit for what happened in the middle of the park. Bang, says Blank. Ratamaitavuki Nepkins with a little bit of a celebration too there, as they take the lead in the match. Cam Miller now lining up this kick. If this goes over, they have then got the same amount of points as they had last year up against the Crusaders in Christchurch. Miller does just sneak it over. So that is going to make the score 12 points to the 5. Landers slaying the Knights and 4-0 to the mighty All Blacks. Cuz says Virtual Plumbing. We see it there, Cam Miller, just that pop pass to Angus Ta'avao to feed him through. And then the pass to Jacob Ratamaitavuki Nepkins. It seems like maybe for a second he had held on to it for too long. But works out in the end. Fakatava going away to the left-hand side. Yes, man, says Haino. Told to use it. Falau Fakatava will roll it back. Oh, that's a free kick. Now, unfortunately, some may be confused by that rule. What has happened is Jack Taylor has joined the ruck after the referee said to use it for that box kick, and that is where you can get yourself in a little bit of trouble. It's just a free kick this season of Super Rugby, one of the new laws that are being trialled. So it gives the position back to the Crusaders. Please tick the like and subscribe. Costs you nothing. Makes Kiwi Lads the best, says Moa Hunters. Anyone who hasn't already, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Got plenty more coming up tonight. 4 more matches on the channel. This one's kicked high from Noah Hotham. All mark was going to be called by Fakatava, but knocks the ball on. They'll go back for the penalty offside against Thomas Lavanini. How's Blackadder playing? Possible All Blacks return. I haven't seen a huge amount of him as of yet. We saw quite a bit of Johnny Lee right from the get-go of this game until he had to sit on the sideline for 10 minutes due to the yellow card of Cody Taylor. But we've probably seen more of Christian Leo Willie as well, although Blackadder's hit a couple breakdowns. He hasn't done anything wrong, I don't think, as of yet. Come on, Thomas, Blackadder's missing, says Jordan. Let's go the Highlanders 2-0 for the season against the Crusaders. Let's go, says Jack. It's a good kick towards the sideline, though. Ticking over to 30 minutes now through this contest. Big line-out opportunity for the Crusaders. Cody Taylor also back out on the field. And we have got there Thomas Steele. It's thrown in, and yes, it is taken this time by Mitchell Dunshay, but the line-out. Wait, what's happened here? Okay, 6 closing the gap there. TK Howden, the man who has had the free kick against him. I was confused there for a second. In fact, it might have actually been the numbers that they did have wrong, but the free kick goes the way of the Crusaders. Noah Hotham across to Christian Leo Willie, 5 metres out from the Highlanders line. Try and fire straight back here. Hotham looks away to the left. Raves Reihana almost sneaks through, gives it off to Enor. It's pushed towards the try line by Cody Taylor, but it actually lost his footing. Fletcher no over and scores the try for the Crusaders between the posts. Now the score will be back to 12-12. Whoever scores next will be a big moment in the next game, says Haino. And these guys, come on guys, says Sock. And we have got there, the ref just saved them, says Jordan. Now let's go, says Josiah there. And Few says Zakiah and there as well, but just short of the line initially for Will Jordan, not for Will Jordan, for Braden Enor. And then Fletcher Nall gets that nice short pass in his hands. Please don't get confused, Hamish, as you are the one here who knows what they are talking about. says Jason. I get confused very often, to be fair. That kick has gone over. He called that after the line-out was already over. Says Jordan. Well, Jordan will get a hat trick. There is the moment right before halftime as well, and show the boys your shorts. I mean, they're just basic. They're just grey. There's nothing exciting about them. Highlanders can't get a break, can they? Says Big Rig. Yeah, and just that mistake at line-out time. Like I mentioned, I'm not actually 100% sure what it was for initially. Just talking about the importance of that try. Well, Jordan, inside of his 22, will kick it down into touch. A good clearing boot. And Highlanders, I read that one, and let's go. The mighty Crusaders, and you're the best, Hamish, says Dalmo. Line out time, 40 metres out from their own line here, the Highlanders. How good, loving the Super Rugby this year, says Virtual Plumbing. Yeah, there's been some fantastic games so far. This one extremely close between the Crusaders and the Highlanders. I mentioned 6 of the last 9 games. Right, Dunshay's been taken off the field. Looks like maybe some sort of injury here. I'll bring Ollie Haig onto the field. Dunshay getting booed on the big screen. Dunshay sub, says Jordan. It was a free kick, so pretty much you lost the line out. I'm going to give you a second chance, says Jordan. And so, do you think France can stop the Red Roses? The Women's Six Nations, it will certainly be a great game. I am hoping it doesn't overlap with anything, and we'll have potential of being able to cover that match as well. Now, penalty awarded to the Highlanders around the outside of the rolling maul. Cam Miller can kick this one towards the touch, an all-nighter or a break in there. So I'm not going to be covering Reds versus Waratahs, just to have a bit of a spell before the next streams. It will mean that I get a bit of time to be able to get everything else finished for them as well. But from there, I think we're up for pretty much the whole time. Bye-bye, Dunshay, says Matthew. He's just had a bad performance. He's probably still better than the guy they just brought on. Lineouts won, lineouts lost at the moment. It's 3-3 for the Highlanders, sitting 50% accuracy. Now Jack Taylor to throw this ball in. Crusaders go up for the ball. It is overthrown, but claimed by Miller. It's tackled hard by Severis. Almost getting the steal to Severis. Doing very well, or no, penalty goes against him for leaving his feet. Okay, so because it was a ruck, it means that Severis is unable to use his hands there. The penalty does go the way of the Highlanders, and I wouldn't be surprised if they decide to go for the 3-pointer here. Let's take the lead back in this contest. Fair enough, says Jordan. And I'm going to just go to the front, says Jordan. Yeah, they've gone to the back quite a bit. And it hasn't really worked out. Although in that case, I guess they did retain the ball going right over the top to Cam Miller. It just was a little bit scrappy along the way too. 20 seconds on the clock now. And Hager's on the same level as Tossie. They say it is a whiff or win to make Kiwi Rob angry, says team in the 11th. Now it's kicked off. Or kicked through the post, I should say. 3 points on the board for the Highlanders. Now takes them up to 15 to the 12 of the Crusaders. This was actually the end score the last time these two sides played. And we're still a little while away from the full-time siren here. Kicked off long. Lucas Casey tries the spin. Jordan, that wasn't very nice, says Pro Pleb. And Jamie Joseph's just found the envelope of money in Dunshay's gear bag from his old Crusaders teammate, says Jason. I would maybe cover it, but off to Loftus. When it is halftime of the Tars game, says Haino. Well, how's the weather looking for Loftus, Haino? Out of curiosity, is it still as bad as it was supposed to be? Or is it not too bad now? I'll watch you be for Kiwi Rob, says BTW. Looks like an injury here that's Thomas Lavanini down. I believe it looks like some sort of neck injury here. He's in a lot of discomfort. He's also going like this with his hand, and that's normally a sign that he's just trying to make sure that everything is still working. I think that the medics are telling him to do that too, but Lavanini in a bad way. This might be another lock gone for the Highlanders. You said, well, Jordan is not a good player. The nerve of the man says, sock. And is that Thomas? It does look like Thomas Lavanini. Oh, we're going to see the replay here. Hit in the back of the neck by Seb Calder. Didn't look that serious from first glance, but it's obviously hit the right spot to then mean that Lavanini's not feeling too flash. It was a stinger on the neck, and that doesn't look good, says Akaya there. That's a sign of cramp damage, says Jason. They are playing a little bit of Sweet Caroline, but this will be a bit of a stoppage before the halftime break, and a bit of concern here for the Highlanders. This is the first game of Super Rugby for Thomas Lavanini in the Highlanders kit. And it seems like it might be over now for that man. Right, they're going to have a look at this one with the TMO, see whether or not it is bad enough from Finley Brewis to bring in a potential card. So he's made contact with the neck and the head. They're looking for the other angle. Thomas rear card Lavanini has been tidied up, tidied his game up past few years. He's been cardless. Contact to, the back of the neck and back area of Thomas Lavanini. Oh, no, he does get a little bit of the arm on the back of the head too. Good morning, Hamish. Trust you well and had a good week. It's flown by, and we're already here at the weekend. Another about 11 hours of stream still to come. Right, it looks like it is going to be a yellow card for Finley Brewis here. It is Lavanini at his red card. Says Haino. Okay, does make shoulder to head. So Finley Brewis, he will make his way off of the field. I think Sean Withy's just asking the question of whether or not it will be put on report. Will Jordan is captain. Says Kiwi Rob. He will be now that David Harvili is off. And Kiwi Rob needs to be red-carded for this game. Lavanini is for once on the other side of a yellow card. Yeah, he's still kind of holding that neck as well for Lavanini. It seems like he's going to be all right to continue. But definitely doesn't seem like he's feeling too flash at the moment, Lavanini. And yes, he's okay, says Jordan. And it should be red. Well, they are now reviewing it. It is on report. I know Lavanini has to go off as well for an HIA here. And this may be a little bit costly now that Super Rugby has a couple of Argentinian players playing alongside New Zealand players. Possibly will make the All Blacks. These Puma players have time to study, says Josiah. Lavanini can walk it off surely. Well, he is walking off. He is just walking off for his HIA. So Lasanga has made his way onto the field. And Cam Miller will kick this ball into touch. Currently the lead of 3 points for the Highlanders with 3 minutes remaining in the first half. Whose ball now will be the line out of the Highlanders. About 35 metres out, in fact, from the Saders line. Over there, come on, Saders, says Josiah. I'm not too confident with my bet now, says Pro Pleb. And I hope Tarval is doing well. He is out there at the moment, Angus Tarval, which is fantastic to see. Cam Miller almost went for the pass. It's going to be knocked back by Ethan Blackadder, but pitched up by Timothy Tava Nawai. Whakatava short side again. Running this one sideways is Jack Taylor. Can't get through Cahill, who's made 2 tackles in a row. Lasanga is a great replacement. Although it looked worse when his teammate joined in. Behind him, forcing him onto his neck, says Zakiah, I should say. Now, Tenuelu Talia. Breakdown work from Dallas McLeod, not quite able to get their hands on it. Timothy Tava Nawai. Looping across to Jonah Nariki, now passing to Tangitau. Down the wing he goes, looks for the offload to Withy, who can't quite hang on to it. It is the knock on. And it is now going to be the penalty, not the penalty, the line out for the Crusaders. Up the Canes though, says Silent. Currently the Canes sitting top of the table. Tangitau just in touch before that knock on of Withy. Which is why it is the line out throw here. Right, 2 metres the gap between the two sides. Who's told to get out of it? It is Jack Taylor. Was getting the warning from the referee. Now Hotham goes across to Ethan Blackadder. Now I'll tell you what, they're going to drive him close to the in-goal area. Braden Enor does well to keep it in the field of play. I get one more score saver, says Josiah there. And let's go to Highlanders, says Johnny Blaze. Hotham back into the pocket to Reves Rehanu. Has to clear his lines from deep inside of his own area. Last minute of the first half, the Highlanders in relatively good control throughout the last 5 to 10 minutes of this one. Currently still slightly the underdog. I do see Withy has not looked nowhere near as good as last season. Here's Jason. Taken by TK Howden now. Fakatava across to Miller. Mofi Tava now. Why couldn't quite get that nice pass away to Lasanga. Anyway, look to Liaz to scramble. Clean that ball up. Now 3 on the short side. Fakatava instead decides to go left where there were more numbers waiting. Ta'aval hits it up to 40. Crusaders the greatest Super Rugby team of all time, says Josiah. And that was Lasanga driving him back, I think, says Jordan. Cody Taylor. Player with 2 names, first names is suspicious. Says Pro Pleb, that one's going to be stolen by Sever Reese, although he's booted it straight out on the full. With the 8 seconds remaining in the half, which does mean they still have time for one more play here. Looking towards that 40-minute mark in the game. Talking about that 3-point advantage. But could it extend a little bit more before halftime? Jordan Way getting frustrated with these two sides, saying that they need to get all the way in. For the line out, this one's thrown to the back. Nice take from Haig. Now TK Howden cleans up the ball. Short side, Ta'aval going off now. Tangi Tau goes for the chip in behind. He calls for the penalty there. Will Jordan will just boot this one. In fact, he forces it. Ooh, a little bit of afters there. Look between Jordan and Taylor. Frustration for these two sides. And now it's going to be halftime. 15 points to 12 in favour of the Highlanders. Will Jordan, a man with 2 first names, is suspicious. Says Pro Pleb. Lasanga is a machine and always trying his hardest. A great player for the Highlanders. And yeah, can really bring a great impact off of the bench in this contest. Probably on a little bit earlier than he would have been anticipating. Last call a bit sketchy, says Sush. And he's been taken out, says Jordan. And also Landers would beat Saders easy with Holland. Fabian Holland, one of the players who was out for the season. Same with Dylan Pledge, although we do also see the injury of Jonah Lowe. He's only out for 1 or 2 weeks. Finn Hurley, he's still got another 4 weeks remaining of his injury. The biggest thing for the Highlanders would just be try to get through the next 4 or 5 weeks without too many players dropping down. Is Cody Taylor and Jack Taylor related? I don't believe so, just same last name. In that regard. So can we go like this and like that as well? Just looking through at the upcoming schedule, ladies and gentlemen, for this weekend. The next live stream will be starting at 12:40 a.m. New Zealand time tomorrow. And that is going to be the one taking place between the Bulls and the Stormers. Then after that, it is Ireland versus Scotland. And then also the other match taking place after that one, Wales, Italy, followed by France versus England. We will be covering all of them on the channel. So, of course, if you are new, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. I was so excited to see Dylan Pledger play. Just into a ruptures ACL, bruh. Says Bird and Saders going to score 25 points in the second half. And the thing is, this is kind of similar to what we saw in their match up against the Crusaders. How, you know, they didn't quite get off to, up against the Chiefs, I should say. They didn't get off to a flying start until that second half. And then they just scored try and really took control of the game. We didn't quite see that up against the Blues, though. I did see the Edinburgh-Ulster match. I haven't watched it yet. I did see the score of that game, though. And it looked like it was a pretty decent showing from Ulster yet again. Landers are on the upward trajectory. If they had all their stars, they'll be hard to beat, says Invincible. Nah, it's more similar to last week's versus the Blues. Says Jordan. And Jonah Lowe has been excellent thus far. He's actually a very underrated part of the Highlanders backline. He scores a lot of tries, doesn't get a huge amount of credit for them either. But there was one batch where he had about 6 tries in the last 5 games for the Highlanders. But everyone had the eyes on Nareki, Tangitau, Jacob Ratamaitavuki, Nepkins, Tamofi, Tava Nawai. Like he can still go. James Lowe, of course, just not this game because he's injured. He's definitely better at 13. Says Jordan. Highlanders are on an upward trajectory. They had all these stars, they'll be hard to beat. Says Invincibles. Yeah, I don't know what Jamie Joseph's done to them this season, but they seem like there's almost, I want to say, it would be impossible for them to finish last, surely. Although saying that, this is the way that the table sat heading into this round. It's got very close now, the Fijian draw, getting themselves a victory, so they get promoted up a little bit. Waratahs and the Reds, they are playing each other later on tonight. And then also tomorrow, Moana Pacifica, they are going head-to-head with the Blues. They are currently in last place after starting the season with a hiss and a roar, getting themselves the good win over the Fijian draw. We've got Alaitlo at 13. You should go play for Ireland with James. Says Jordan and Fijian draw have beaten Hurricanes and Brumbies. Is that a surprise or improvement? I think it's a bit of a surprise, but also at the same time, this draw aside, they have some very decent home games. It's going to be when they get that away game and the victory there that will be the massive result and the one that kind of, I guess, shapes their season. Because currently they've still been, how long is it? 3 years, I believe, since the last time we saw them get a victory away from home. So, that's a pretty extensive time to not be able to pick up those type of wins. Jamie want to win. Super now to stick it to the New Zealand Rugby Union bosses, says Sock. I mean, if that's the motivation that he needs to use to be able to get the job done, then, I think that the Highlanders, they could also argue, they haven't had a huge amount of All Blacks throughout recent times. So I'm sure that he is kind of drumming that message into them that, look, guys, we're considered as the New Zealand underdog side. And, let's see whether or not we can make a bit of a statement in that regard. If the Scots lose to Ireland and need Wales to win versus Italy because we need England last, says Haino. And are they still doing the lucky loser format for the playoffs? I believe so. I don't think that they've changed the system yet. But they have had, of course, a few law changes throughout the season of Super Rugby, but I believe that does still remain the same with the best qualifier going through. I made a triple bet. Will Jordan to score a try. Crusaders win by 1 to 12 points and less than 55 total points. Says Pro Pleb. And yep, says Sock. And there as well, they are just showing that first try of Will Jordan. It started quick and fast for this Crusaders side, scoring within the 5 minutes. Fiji reminds me of the Pumas a little, says Hobbit. They are often considered as the underdog, but when they play their best rugby, they can be extremely dangerous, the drawer. And the only side now that they have left to cross off their list of sides in Super Rugby Pacific to beat is actually now the Chiefs. Jacob Ratamaitavuki Nepkins, he scored the try in the 27th minute of this contest. They did also score just prior to that with Tenuelu Talia, and then Fletcher Null helped get Crusaders back into this game too with a try of his own. 52% possession for the Crusaders, 52% territory here for the Highlanders. I think the game might go over 55. It might, if they can open up in the second 40 minutes, start to get a few more passes going to hand. And if it opens up a bit more, I think we could see a lot of tries coming up in the near future. The best Super Rugby side ever was the Bulls in 2007 to 2009. Nobody came close or comes close. Says Haino. And also we have got there how are the Pumas improved in Super Rugby. Says Hobbit. Yeah, hopefully we get to see some decent performances from the Fijian international side. Of course, they have qualified for that Rugby World Cup. Just showing that support run there from Tenuelu Talia to strike first. The sun has gone down in Christchurch. The mood's probably dropped a little bit with the fact that the Highlanders are leading in this matchup, but it is far from over. Still another 40 minutes remaining. David Harvili, he exited this game in the 24th minute with the injury. McLeod came on and has looked all right since then. Tava Nawai. Oh, sorry, Tava, why not crunch him, bro? Says Shane. I know they were great, and they smashed the Chiefs in that final in 2009, 61-17. The best side was the Auckland Blues team in the 90s. Says Sock there. Top tacklers, TK Howden, making 13 tackles throughout this matchup. Jack Taylor in second on 8, and then Shalfoon has made the 7. Just saying there that the Crusaders need someone to lead them in the second half. Let's try and get over the line. Looking through at the upcoming games for this Crusader side, they have got Moana Pacifica next week, and then the bye week, the following one, the Highlanders. They will be going head-to-head with the Hurricanes down in Dunedin, and then the week prior, they are playing Moana Pacifica. 2 Friday night fixtures for the Highlanders in the very near future. We're hoping to cover both of them on the channel as well. And then, of course, as just a whole for the next round, the Highlanders, Hurricanes, that is the opening game. Brumbies versus the Chiefs, that is the 9:35 p.m. New Zealand time kickoff on the Friday night. And the Reds play the Fijian draw, that is in Fiji, and Fiji looking to make it 3 in a row for the draw on home soil. Moana Pacifica versus the Crusaders, and then Waratahs versus the Blues close out the 6th round. We got there, did you get your chicken tenders? Not yet, which is quite sad, isn't it? But I'll have to try and get them at some stage this week. Highlanders 2015 team was the most exciting to watch as a team, says Jason. And Brumbies versus the Chiefs, says Hano. And also, shall we go through the names of these teams? As in, like, the Highlanders and the Crusaders? Or you're talking about, like, the players out there on the field? And our best team was the Sunwolves. Says BTW Padza. The Brumbies in 2001 and 2004 were great. Says a Demon the 11th. Does look relatively full. Orange Theory Stadium in the background. The crowd have come to see a close South Island derby. 6 of the last 9 have been separated by less than the 4 points. And this seems like it's going in the same direction as well here. But now, second half, just about to take place. There's another game just around the corner too. Reds versus Waratahs. We won't be covering that one on the channel, but we've got 4 more matches throughout the night. I missed the Rebels myself. Says Jason. I know the teams who won Super Comp. And Puma Springboks, Super Rugby teams of Japan should return to Super Rugby. What I believe was money travel or a little bit of everything in that case. But the time zone works out a lot better when they're playing in the north. As well as, you know, like URC making some decent money playing in that comp too. That was the last time I supported the Blues in the 90s. Says bad to the bone. You going to be supporting them tomorrow up against Moana Pacifica bad to the bone, or are you going and hoping for the upset? Remember the first Pacifica team in 2004, 2005? Says Sock in there too. Yeah, Moana's an interesting one at the moment because they had that massive win up against the Fijian draw just to now be in a situation where, you know, they are last on the overall standings. The Western Force, they've had some pretty solid performances for a side that do sit last, although they beat Moana Pacifica as they won, and Ta'aval carving it up in the midfield. Yeah, it was a great pass from Cam Miller just to feed Ta'aval straight through the gap. Lavanini actually played halfback in that move as well, so a nice mix between the forwards and the backs. The Highlanders in this game, and I feel like they have to do more of the same in the second half because the Crusaders are dangerous on a counter-attack, although they are missing now David Havili, their captain. So I believe Jordan has taken over that role. But there's plenty of pace across the back three for both of these sides. Fiaki hasn't really had a huge opportunity to do too much under the high ball, which is something that he is predominantly known for as one of his strengths. Will support New Zealand sides over the rest, says bad to the bone. As a Sharks second team guy, I agree. Says Sock. Do let me know your in-score prediction second half here. I'm thinking I want it to be less than 7. So that would be ideal. Currently, the halftime break has been going for about 12 minutes, which means we're on the last grouping of ads before we get back underway. There's a weird bug on YouTube. When an ad plays, sometimes it restarts the stream. I wonder how many people have been caught out with that and gotten confused at the fact that like we're starting a stream at halftime or anything along those lines. The Highlanders win. See, here's Big Rig there. Okay, so you're going for the Dunedin side to get over the line. That would be 2 from 2 up against the Crusaders for this season. Loving it out there. Bring back the Higuare, says keep it simple. I think he wasn't loving the neck knock that he took, though, in the contest. Shot to the back of the spine for Lavanini. We have got there pushing it now. Says Sock. And they're doing Highlanders 32, Crusaders 25. I'm hoping for a Club World Cup thing. That is taking place in about 2028, I believe, when we're going to get to see the Club World Cup. It's a tricky one with the amount of other games that do take place along the way. Crusaders come back to win. Ooh, so you go and comeback victory. And that's the thing. They'd only need one big moment at the start of the second half for the Crusaders to get back into this contest. They were struggling up against the Chiefs in the first half of their match. Then went on to win it in the second half of that contest. Just looking at their halftime score between the Crusaders and the Chiefs. Of course, full-time ended with the game being 43-33. But at halftime in that matchup, the Crusaders were only up by 3 points. And dinner time is the time I love the best, says Sock. Yes, it's going to be great, says Jordan. And there as well. Yeah, sneaking in a couple more ads to do with vehicles. And Jimmy the Difference on fire says keep it simple. And Lavanini was a card magnet before. He's actually, he's honed in his discipline really nicely. I think there was that realization that if he was going to keep on giving away those fouls, then eventually he was going to get dropped from certain sides. So it seems like he's worked on it a lot. Just showing there the Blues versus Moana Pacifica hype. That is taking place tomorrow afternoon. We are hoping to cover that one on the channel, alongside quite a few other matches still to take place. Will Artie be named as coach with Rennie? Maybe. It seems like there's about 2 or 3 men who are front runners at the moment, and Artie Savia is one of them. Two sides back out there on the park. See there, Brewis is still under review for that yellow card that he received near the end of the first half. McLeod is out there for David Harvilli, but that is the only change that we have seen for this Crusaders side. And for the Highlanders, we see Lasanga. He is still out there on the park. We did see the early change of Dunshay. That was for Haig. And Lasanga still out there means that Lavanini more than likely has failed his HIA and will not be continuing in this matchup. Why do we not know the answer to the review yet? Says Jordan. Normally they wait until the halftime is over and then normally they'll give it the decision. But obviously they're still looking at it. They're still deciding on what to make as the decision. Take there from Taylor Cahill to start this second half off. It's probably going to stay yellow, and because of Walker's last night and been a lot of failed HIAs lately. Rugby is a tough old game for tough lads. Says Big Rig. That one's going to be kicked into touch from Noah Hotham. Doesn't get a huge amount of distance on it though, so now the line out of the Highlanders, it will be tested again, only sitting at about 50% throughout that first half. It's a shame that the Sevens overlap with the Six Nations games. It really is. Like, I'm not sure who did the scheduling for it, but I guess it's the way that it has worked out in the past too. But it does mean that we're going to be providing Sevens updates throughout the Six Nations matches. So you're still going to get some form of commentary of the Sevens, just not quite as much. I don't know anyone catch the URC games. But like Ulster, you're going to do great this season. They were my pick from the start of the year to go to at least the semis, if not the final Ulster. So hopefully they continue in the manner that they are. Rolling Maul's going nicely here for the Highlanders. They made about 15 metres off it thus far. And still moving forward. Ethan de Groot asking for the penalty against Cody Taylor for going in through the side. Almost begging the touch judge to give the penalty. The ball doesn't come out. De Groot gives the death stare to the touchy. And it will now be the Crusaders who have got themselves a scrum feed. About 7 metres out from their line. What time of the Stormers and the Bulls play? There will be a 2 p.m. kickoff for you guys in South Africa. We've got a 20-minute build-up for that match. Was there a rugby player scarier than Henry Tuolangi? I don't think you can get away with being scary nowadays. Like, a lot of the guys get kind of watered down because of the fact that you literally can't do anything without a TMO finding it. And Ethan de Groot, I should tell the ref off, says Jordan. My phone is buzzing flat out. Our team has just realised that they're through to the semi-finals of the cricket. George Bauer is on the field, and unfortunately Johnny Lee, again, is a sacrificial lamb who has to make his way off the field. He's actually gone all right during the time he's been on, Johnny Lee, but just keeps on having to jump off. Now going off to the right-hand side. Send me the link for that game. I can maybe try to hop on before the game. I think they're normally pretty strict with being at the stadium, unfortunately. So it may be too much of a risk, even if it's just like because of the music that's being played at the stadiums. You can get a copyright claim from that. So it's normally too much of a risk. But be sure to take a couple photos and whatnot. Now Blackadder rolling this one back. And Noah Hotham again has to try and clear his lines from 10 metres out on the Crusaders goal line. And Ethan de Groot should tell the ref off. And stop kicking, says Jordan and poor Johnny Lee. And I kind of lost interest in the HSB 7 because they dropped the Sevens World Cup for it. I see your team is through to the semi-finals. They are, yeah, in the cricket side of things. We're going to be playing the top of the table side next week. I kind of lost interest. Oh, no, I read that one, didn't I? Will Tucker, a guy. Our two first names seems suspicious. Now, nicely taken by Ollie Haig in the line out, the Highlanders. I'm going to put a few phases together here with Casey. Still playing with the man advantage for another 3 minutes of this match as well. Cam Miller. Tackle by Cody Taylor. Tackle by a small player. Says Julian. Is Johnny Lee related to Bruce and Brandon? Not sure where the correlation is. Now past to Jacob Rata, Maitavuki Nepkins goes to Sean Whiffy. Tackled low by Will Jordan early. Estaya Yellow, I guess nothing reaches the threshold anymore. The ABs from 2012, 2015, it's best hands down, says Demon the 11th. Now back away, Tenuelu Talia. Low pass to Timothy Tavanawai. Gets through one. Just a push off Christian Leo Willie as well. Still going Timothy Tavanawai. It seemed like he was going to be dragged down and all the hard work, but he has knocked it on. They'll go back for a penalty now, though, and it looks like an injury here for Timothy Tavanawai. Massive concern for the Highlanders. Looks like lower leg. Something that kept him out for quite some time last season. He's back up on his feet. He's limping. But it looks like he's going to try and continue. Most defenders beat him for this season. Timothy Tavanawai at the top of the bunch with 28. For red offside. Who needs radio for your drive in the morning when you have the Kiwi lads? Says Inferno. And we are going to be all throughout the next about 13 hours. 13 hours is when the last match starts that we're covering. But we've still got another probably 11 hours of commentary coming up on the channel. So, yeah, hopefully you haven't got too long of a drive. Or surely you'll be sick of me by the end of it. They're just showing Timothy Tavanawai. The fact that he broke through about 5 tackles to get their bad call by the TMO. That should have been red card. Says Kiwi Rob. The All Blacks are one of the greatest sports team in history. Says Silent Night. It looks like he's going to continue in this game. Tavanawai. The last thing that the Highlanders want, though, is an injury to that man. And now just going to 3 shots. Says Inferno. Cam Miller. Chance from 42 metres out to add the additional 3. Did your player get a try yet, Hamish? Says Pro Plebe. Maybe. That kick has gone over. And that one from Miller has gone over. Making the score 18 points to 12. And here comes Kiwi Rob again. Said Matthew. You could take Jim off soon and bring Pussy Toa on. It wouldn't be a bad choice. Just because you don't want to risk that injury. Because, yeah, it doesn't make sense to have him. But at the same time, they need him out there. Because he's an absolute game changer. Charge down there of Cam Miller. And that one's going to be put into touch. We need a battering ram like Jim. And the AB says bad to the bone. And I just hope he's okay, says Jordan. Yeah, I don't think that it seems serious enough to completely take him off. But I'd say one more little tweak of that ankle, they'd probably consider it. Now throwing this one in, Jack Taylor. And get back, Noah. Says Kiwi Rob. And Crunch'em Cuz says Shane. Lee back on the field. That is for Bauer going back off. I just hope that Johnny Lee gets some decent time out there because he's been taken off twice. One for the Cody Taylor yellow card and then the other was actually for the Friendly Brewers yellow. Crusaders back to the full contingency of 15. The Highlanders with the lead of 6 after that Miller kick did go over. Now looking for the steal and the breakdown for Falau Fakatava. In fact, my apologies, it is Lasanga who has popped up with that ball. Hamish, it's 18 now, or did he miss? No, he did get it over. The scoreboard was just a little bit slow updating. Knock on. Yeah, Tangi Tau does not look too good now. Looks like a hand injury. Looks, they're trying to pop that finger back in. You don't want to look at that one too closely. Yeah, that's hard work for the medics to get that one into the right place. It seems like he's getting it fixed to continue playing, though. Reese just going over. Possibly having a quick look to see if he is all right, looking over the shoulder. Gives him a tap on the shoulder as well for Sever Reese. Put the finger back in. Yep, so dislocated, so they're just shoving it back where it needs to be. Ouch, says Matthew. And there as well. I hate when these happen. Yeah, although it's not quite as bad as when the finger or like the bone pierces the skin. That's normally worse for a finger break. Fiaki still out there. Oh, penalty awarded to the Crusaders. This is something that hasn't happened too often throughout this game. It is the scrum penalty. And what says Jordan? He's all right if they get it in. Yeah, it's normally if it stays out that's the problem for your dislocations. But if they can get it back in and he can move it around, he'll be all right. Pop it back in, says bad to the bone, and that finger's going to swell up tonight. I did that. Hurts like hell, says Wade. Okay, that's an interesting way of wording it. So they've just said there, not good news for the Highlanders. Leicester Whainanduku comes on. Braydon Nino goes off. Oh, Blackadder with a big run, pops it up to Johnny Lee, who scores the try. He gets surrounded by his teammates. He's had to have a really stop-start type of match. The youngster gets over and scores the try. You're excited for the Six Nations? Thoroughly excited. See what happens there. I hope that the Scotland and Ireland game is a very close, exciting one going down to the wire. Oh, that was a mess. Yeah, just a run there from Johnny Lee. Blackadder then bumps off two, pops it back up to Lee, who finishes it off. And the Crusaders now strike and get back within one. That's ref is piggybacking them. That's why you need to have clenched fists for any physical contact action. It says Invincibles. And maybe you can visit the second-hand shop and get a new one, a new finger. Don't know whether or not they sell them, or at least they probably shouldn't. If they do, then questions would need to be asked. And Scotland for the Triple Crown, says Tama. Yeah, it would be huge for Scotland, wouldn't it? They were able to get the win in Ireland. The one's going over now from Reves Rehana. Makes the score now 19 points to 18 in favour of the Crusaders. Try, says Matthew there. The best Northern Hemisphere sides were England 2002-2003, Ireland mid-2022-23, Wales late 2018-2019, Wales 1970s. Sometimes they have to pop shoulders. And well, big score, says Haino. A huge moment in this game too when it comes to the closeness of the finish. Still 30 minutes remaining in this matchup as well. And Scotland have no chance, says Alex. Is that because you feel Ireland are going to do so well, or because Scotland have played their big games already? Alex. Kicked off. Dallas McLeod chasing after. Or sorry, I should say box kick rather than kicked off. Take from Jacob Ratamaitavuki Netkins under the high ball. Been told to use it. But Scotland letting France get their bonus point will bite Scotland in the behind. I agree. I think that might be a bit of a difference maker. Now going out to the right-hand side. And Brewers should be off. Dirty Brewers. Says Jordan. Yeah, I don't think they'll be too far away from bringing George Bauer back out there. Christian Leo Willie. Still position here for the Crusaders. Hotham. His way to the right. Now Reves Rehana shovels on to Severies. Fiaki was on his outside. I can't think of a time that Fiaki's actually touched the ball in this whole game. Scotland will run out of puff. They never play well the whole tournament. Says Alex. I feel like Ireland are due a big game, aren't they? They match up against the Welsh. They had some great moments, but also quite a few of the poor ones. That's a knock-on from Christian Leo Willie. Scotland for the Six Nations. If not, then England for the wooden spoon, says Hayno. I'm cheering for Scotland because I don't want France to win it. Way too many drop balls, says the Sporting Kiwi. Yeah, both sides have had their fair share of handling errors. Just seeing it moved across Reves Rehana. There to Sever Reese. And just trying to get that pass to Leo Willie, who hasn't had the best handling day here. Unfortunately for him, the pass was a bit too far behind from Whaiananuku. Still 27 minutes left. Very close game between the two South Island sides. Whoever wins this game, there is a chance that they don't actually go that far up on the table just because of the closeness of this match, but a free kick awarded to the Highlanders at scrum time. Jonah Nariki kicks it out on the full. And now the Crusaders, the line out from inside of Highlanders territory. He does that all the time, says Jordan. Right, Sever Reese is way out on this near side now at this line out. I wonder whether or not a cross kick could be on the cards from Reves Rehana. Definitely if they get the penalty advantage here, the Crusaders. But first of all, trying to get that rolling ball moving. Haig's been told not to change his mind. Same with Ethan de Groot. He's managed to drive that one to ground, but the ball just came out an advantage now in favour of the Crusaders. Leicester Whaiananuku pick and go around the side of the breakdown. Now, still going forward. Now Hotham pick and go around the side of the breakdown. 3 metres out. Penalty advantage for the Crusaders. This is where we may see a move wide, although great work from Ethan Blackadder to drive his teammate over, but just held up in the end. They'll go back for the penalty. France to knock England over, says keep it simple. Think ABs will lose a game to any of the URC teams in South Africa? Maybe. Like, to be fair, depending on who's selected in that Springboks camp, there'll still be some pretty handy URC sides around. If the score can remain like this for the rest of the game, it'll be ideal. Unlikely though, says Pro Pleb, and it does look like, again, the Crusaders are opting for the corner rather than going for the 3, which would have given them a 4-point lead. 6 penalties conceded by both of these sides. Now line out Cody Taylor. Ready to throw it in. Nicely taken by Christian Leo Willie. Now rolling close to the try line. That's got to be close to being over, and it is down. And the try awarded to the Crusaders. It might be Cody Taylor who pops up with the try. Although they're showing Johnny Lee again here. They might. Yeah, it's looking like Johnny Lee's got another one. Double on debut for this man. Johnny Lee says Jordan, and there will be 2 separate teams basically for the South African tour. A test team and a midweek team, so it's possible they could lose. But the test matches are all that matter. Now, why do we need to see the crowd every 5 minutes? They do it at every stadium, don't they? I guess you just don't like seeing Crusaders supporters happy, I would assume. And glad the Brumbies lost again. Reality check for the Aussie team, says Tama, although they are sitting still pretty nicely on the overall standings. But that game next week up against the Chiefs, that one will be significant. Now, another kick here for Reves Rehana. It's gone high and it's curling around. It goes over. The Crusaders now, they lead this game by 8. What's happening to the stadium? I think it's still staying, isn't it? I don't care about the crowd, says Kiwi Rob. We'll write them a letter. And I'm sure because of one person saying you've shown the crowd too much, they'll probably get rid of the crowd shots just specifically for you, Kiwi Rob. But Sawani Vakina, he makes his way now onto the field to replace Jack Taylor. Taylor just having the rundown to him. It's like, why did you show us that? The only crowd I don't get is when they cut to the crowd sitting on their hands looking bored. And Hamish, are you going to the Super Round? I am not. I will be close to Christchurch for that Super Round, but not going to any other matches. Nice take from Sever Reese, side of the 22 as the Crusaders now take control. I don't care about the biased commentary, says Kiwi Rob. Is that like the commentary at the game, like as in like the actual commentators as well. Now, nice take from Jacob Ratamai to Vuki Nepkins. Whakatawa going back across to the left-hand side. Cam Miller tries a little chip and chase. Crusaders control it with Ethan Blackadder. They'll go back for the knock-on. And also we have there the ref is piggybacking on the 22. And what on earth do you care about, says Zakaya. He likes the Blues. Way too many chip kicks in Super Rugby these days. I just take the tackle build phases, says the Sporting Kiwi. Yeah, it's just getting that defence scrambling a little bit, isn't it? They do like to go either grubber or the chip in behind. But I feel like, yeah, just running the ball is very effective. Cody Taylor and Leo Willie both will make their way off of the field. It's just the Highlanders that do these chip kicks. They still do north versus south for the rugby? Sadly not. They did it one time. It was an absolutely incredible game, and then they never did it again. Bell is now joining up with that scrum. Same with Safaloi. And over again, says Jordan. Scrum feed for the Landers. Whakatava. Going across to Timothy. Tava Nawai. They should still do north versus south. I agree. It would be great to see it, whether it's at the end of the season or maybe a pre-season one, that you get to see someone has stayed down for the Highlanders in the middle of the field. That is not good news for this Landers side, who have already suffered one injury at least throughout this contest, if not 2 or 3. Now away to the left, Nariki. Shovel on from Tangitau to Lasanga. Keeps it in the field of play. Nariki close to the sideline. If it makes the tackle on him, it's not even a sellout, says Kiwi Rob. Maybe people were worried about the camera was going to be put on them while they're in the stand, so they decided not to go, eh? I saw Michael Manson was called up to the sevens because of injuries. Why the heck was he not already in the squad? It's a good question. Someone on the channel is a big fan of Michael Manson. I can't remember who it is specifically. It might even be Jordan, actually. But yeah, surprising that he hasn't been given more minutes since making his way on. Definitely with that kicking behind, he's probably one who does get the chip and chase right quite a few times. Now Timothy Nawai, 30 metres out from the line. Another 2-man tackle from the Crusaders. Currently playing under penalty advantage. Jananariki tries to skip pass out to Tenuelu Talia. And there's a double blow of the whistle here, but it is Cam Miller who is down with the injury. Looks like another neck problem for the Highlanders. Oh, direct contact to the head from Fiaki on Cam Miller. Do they still do it for touch rugby? Do it for touch. Which one are we talking? That's a big clean out. He's up right there, Fiaki. Gonna see it now. Hits him on the jaw. This might be at least a yellow card. He's coming at pace. And then who Kiwi Rob is watching the game, says Matthew. And also we have got the, speaking of North-South Bulls, says Hayno, and Michael Manson will be the Nihi Milner-Scudder of the All Blacks at the 2027 World Cup. This one's going to be at least a yellow card for Fiaki for direct shoulder contact to the head. 14 could be lower. Okay, Jordan Wayne maybe said too much there, because Jordan asked him the question. He said, do you think because of the late directional change, late dip, possibly mitigating? And Jordan Way said, yeah, as if to say that he probably only sees it as a yellow card, but it could be a red. In the scenario, Cam Miller's night will be done, or at least it should be after the shot that he took to the jaw. Could be higher, says NZ. Gavin. The red card surely, says keep it simple. I wouldn't be surprised if it gets upgraded. The Box have beaten 15 times by 8 different New Zealand provinces. Says bad to the bone. Now the final quarter of this contest. Pasitoa. Oh, it just stood on his teammate's foot. Not a great way to start when you've just made your way on. And that one does find touch just. About 25 out now from the line. The Highlanders will have themselves the throw. Hurricanes should have got a red card last night, says Hobbit. Is that for Isaiah Walker-Leowides one? I'm so sick of them deliberately hurting us, says Jordan. Now, oh no, not straight call on the Highlanders line out. That's going to hurt them. So we'll now give the Crusaders the free kick. What is with the Crusaders hitting the Landers' head? Says Kiwi Rob. Neither of these teams look like top 6. First time is now Cam. Yeah, we got to remember, Dunshay went off earlier with an injury. Lavanini went off due to a concussion. Big boot downfield, little bit too much juice on that one though. Still rolling and it goes dead for Reves Reihana. So talk about a change of momentum. Big mistake made by the youngster. And the Highlanders now back on attack. Landers get it wide now. Here's Shane. I think Cody Vai is going to be the next great AB's winger and Caleb Tangitel. And the mighty Brumbies have fallen. Hashtag pray for the Brumbies, says Xander. And Wales are going to poach Taylor Cahill, apparently. 11-1 should have been a rare card. Here's Jordan. Now scrum feed for the Highlanders. 25 out from the Crusaders line. 2 years ago, rare card. Although it has changed a bit in terms of the laws in the last 2 years. But, yeah, it still wouldn't surprise me if it does get given as the red. Where's Finn Hurley? That man is a beast. He's still away for another, probably about 4 weeks with his injury. But he's not a mile away. Now ball is fed in. Looking to get this push going. Oh, is that illegal? Yes, it was. Ethan Blackett offside at scrum time. That should be a card, says Jordan. Bleach blonde doesn't suit Noah Hotham. It doesn't look as bad as it did at the start when he first did it, though. I have to say, it's still not the best look ever, but it was worse. Realistically, they're all assaulting each other over the ball. Says Pro Pleb, and fish pie is really good currently. Is it? I don't think I've ever had a fish pie. I've had a chicken pie. Chicken pie goes all right. Right, referee, blow the whistle here. Okay, yellow card's going to remain as a yellow card. So Fiaki, they've said the late dip from Cam Miller is enough to get him only with the 10 minutes off, but still 7 minutes of that yellow card remaining. The media is really questioning Mr. Rennie as New Zealand coach. Don't you think they are overthinking it, Hamish? I think that they should wait until he actually puts a squad together. Like, at the end of the day, all the complaining that goes on now is just people who are either anxious about where the All Blacks sit because of a bit of a lackluster few years, or just ones who would rather complain than just wait to see what happens. Are you a Highlanders fan? I mean, I like the Highlanders. I wouldn't say I'm like they're not my team in Super Rugby. Fakatava going away to the right-hand side, Ethan de Groot, sitting about 12 metres out from the try line. Fakatava uses quickly, gives it off to Lasanga, who's brought a real nice impact to this game since making his way off the bench. He was held around the ankles by Sifuloi. Now looking for the steal here for the Crusaders. It's Lester Whainanoku. Does get that steal. He looks a little bit worse for wear here. He's kind of bent over after winning that steal. He's got a bleeding nose too, so may have taken a shot in the process. Why don't the referee care about the head contact? Says Kiwi Robber like Wales. They have the best national anthem in my opinion. Not supporting bodyweight, says Jordan. But they are closer to home, I think. Depends. Like, if you go south 5 minutes, you're pretty much in Otago. Currently, like, where I'm sitting now is considered as South Canterbury, so, like, it is more so in the Canterbury region. But there's a lot of people who are split 50-50 in terms of who they actually go for around here. I was at a yellow card when he hit him so hard. Says Skywalker. Yeah, I thought that maybe the hit being hard might have been enough to rule it as potentially red. Can't beat a steak and cheese, says MPT. Now kicked high from Reves Reihana. 3 head contacts. They should have been red so far this weekend, says Jordan. Ball in the hands of the Crusaders. Kick downfield from Noah Hotham, although partially charged down by the Highlanders. Tangi Tau, oh, he's hurt himself too. Maybe cramp. It's what he's dealing with. Hotham goes across to Reves Reihana. He will go high. The ball again. Doesn't quite make the ground. Lucas Casey knocks it on. Hotham with the fend and the shuffle there too. 25 metres out. He's dropped the position, but it goes backwards. Shalfoon, Bell, across to Will Jordan, now cutting back in. It's going to be Christian Leo Willie. You can beat an egg, says Jason. Well said. We all should be all about him, says MPT. And when the Timo shows us a replay high tackle in slow motion, it looks not too bad. When we watch the replay normal, it looks more dangerous. Ball still there for the Crusaders, also under penalty advantage. Will Jordan cuts through, ball on the inside. And Sifuloi off of the bench will score the try Crusaders now take the lead by that little bit more. They really can beat an egg. The World Rugby needs to step in. Super Rugby referee. Don't care about head contact. Says, can you write? Once again, you have to write them a letter. I think you've got a lot of letters to write by the end of this game. The camera crew, you've got to send a letter. World Rugby, you've got to send a letter. The referee, you've got to send a letter. Will Jordan, you're going to send him a hate letter because you don't like him. Though he did get a try assist in this case. Lucas Casey, could this be a prodigy? Says 10-2. Potentially. I think he still needs a bit more time though. I do think that Rennie would have considered him, though, had he been the head coach. Shouldn't have been a yellow contact to the shoulder. Whiplash is normal, says Kyle. You know, the Waikato man for the Crusaders says the sporting Kiwi. Shut up, Hamish. Frogs to smash England says keep it simple. The Crusaders are doing well, says Chris, and now they lead this one 31-18, or do they? TMO check. In this case, I like this Jordan bloke. Says Gavin NZ. Right, the actions are 20 red, so that is actually the try scorer. Saifaloy. What is the decision going to be here? So that is my best team, or second best team, only because they use McLean Park as their home ground during COVID. It's Kane's country, though, for Napier. Right, we're going to see the replay here. So Saifaloy. So he hangs on to him. Does it create a big enough gap? You'd have to argue there is contact in front of the ball. So it's whether or not would that have opened up the space enough. They've just said there at the rucks, you're not allowed to play at a player. No try, says Mark Allen. Ali, how are you still streaming? We've still got plenty more going too. The next live stream is going to be at 12:40 a.m. That is Bulls versus Stormers. And then alongside that, we've got 3 matches straight afterward. Go directly to the bath. Do not pass go. Do not collect 200. So I think this is going to be ruled as a no try for Saifaloy, I should say, sorry. So the lead will still remain. They will go back for the penalty advantage, though. Crusaders on a horse now. Got the sword and then win, it seems. And well, at least the Blues smashed them last week, says Just Poker. Assistant referees wearing jackets, must be cold there. I think Rob hates the crowd shots, as maybe he is actually in the crowd, wearing his gimp suit. Funny you mentioned that. Someone who I knew was wearing one of those at the Perth Sevens. And I saw them on the screen. The other one was dressed as a cop, but someone who used to play cricket in my team, he was actually wearing said suit at the Sevens, which was a bit of a weird one because I didn't enjoy admitting that I recognised them. And Crusaders says Des Vonde. Now another shot at the post coming here. While the Crusaders, please Highlanders get the final try. This would be an 11-point lead if they get it over. What was wrong with that? So the playing of the man from Saifaloy in front of the breakdown. That kick has gone over, making the score now 29 points to 18. I think it should be advantage over. And Hamish says there's Vonde. I'm always on the TV at the Chiefs home games. Says a sporting Kiwi. And we look at that. Hamish, you're so much better than that fella called Egg Chasers. I don't mind Egg Chasers. I think he's all right. What don't you like about him? He's the knowledgeable bloke in the rugby world. He goes to some of the games around the place. Gives very good previews. Got off to the right-hand side. Ethan Blackadder. Back across to Reves Rehana. Will Jordan. Now trying to sneak his way through. Bauer. He is on the field for Brewis. On left-hand side, Hotham. Goes to Reves Rehana. Under pressure with a 2-man tackle on him. Not long left in this contest, though. Just the remaining 12 minutes. So we'll go like this. And like that as well. Rugby is a brutal game. They love to overturn scoring tries, says Robert. And also, did they have a KFC run during halftime? I don't think they would have quite had time. Unless there's a... Oh, no, I don't think KFC's too close to Apollo Project Stadium. They do normally sell like hot dogs and chips and chicken and chips and whatnot out the back of Apollo Projects. That's going to be another knock on there. And minus Will Jordan, the Crusaders suck. So yeah, he's just spoken. Well, the good news is they do have Will Jordan. And he's been able to change this game quite nicely. A try for him as well as an assist. Remember when they used to paint the sponsors on the grass? Says the Sporting Kiwi. Currently 11 minutes remaining. Not over 55 yet. Has Will Jordan scored? He has scored a try in this contest. It's so annoying we aren't getting any balls, says Jordan. We have got there. I know you're supposed to be biased, but isn't Crusaders your team? Not really, no. Like, I'm living halfway between Crusaders and Highlanders territory. But, like, I don't really have a team per se. Can confirm that KFC won't be close enough for a halftime run. So how close is it to the stadium? It'd be like a good 10 or so minutes away, right? Highlanders should get drop goals or something, says Silent Night. And a Holland Low playing this as a tooth-point thriller, says Shane. I think you're probably one of the most unbiased commentators there is, says Q. Just a bit of a stoppage here, ladies and gentlemen, at the moment for the Crusaders scrum. Now taken by Kyle Preston, who's made his way on the field for Hoth. A missed tackle to Sever Reese, or missed ball to Sever Reese, I should say. And at KFC for over a year, going to have some soon. He's just a Bull fan, and his Super Rugby team is the Chiefs. I don't know about that. I think you've just read off what your teams are. In that case, hey, no. Minus Ethan de Groot, the Highlanders suck, says Kyle, but the ball is on the side of the Crusaders now. Told to use it, so can't join anyone back into that breakdown. Reves Rehana goes to Jordan. Kicks downfield off his right boot. He's given that a fair old strike. It's just bounced over the sideline on the full. Or on the sideline on the full, I should say. There's a couple, but yeah, about 10 minutes for each one. They should have a big sign at all the games saying hello Kiwi Rob and Will Jordan for All Blacks captain. Says a Sporting Kiwi. Just goes over the sideline there. My Heineken's was all sold out. I blame the Six Nations. Says Hobbit. 29-18. 9 minutes left on the clock here. Will Jordan for the All Blacks captain. He might be someone who's in the running for the role. Who tries for the Crusaders. Oh, beautiful take from Tamofi Tavatava at the back of the line out. Wakatava. Now going away to the left-hand side. We're seeing 2 tries from Johnny Lee, though. 1 try from Will Jordan as well. And also Fletcher Null, the other man who has been able to score the try. Minus a rugby ball, then rugby would suck also, says Jason. It's true. It would just be a big game of like a weird outing of tag, wouldn't it? What would you do if someone was holding a sign in the crowd? Cameron pointed it out, and it's the same as the Kiwi Lads guy. If you can see this, go take a bath. I probably would be quite impressed as well. But sadly, I don't have a bath. We've only got a shower here. But if I saw a message like that, I would have to go find a bath. Just to honour the message popping up. How about the draw game? Brumby's going to get a kick to save their life. Yeah, they struggled big time in that game, taking place in Fiji, and now 2 in a row for the Fijian draw up against the 2 sides at the top of the table, the Brumbies and the Hurricanes. What's the price for a slab of beer in New Zealand? I think it depends on the beer that you go for. Slab is 12 cans, isn't it? Is that what a slab would be? You're probably looking at about 30, 35, maybe. Something like that nowadays. A lot of people drink double brown just because it's slightly cheaper. Calabau's the finger. Well, he's still out there, so it must have recovered a little bit for him. Pasitoa tackled by the Crusaders. 25 metres out from the line now. Pass are overrated. Nothing beats standing under a tree in the rain. Says Sock, did anyone watch the Warriors? That was a good game for Wars fans. Yeah, the fact that it was half-time 6-6 and then the Warriors went on to win the way they did was thoroughly impressive. Sitting about 40 metres out. Draw will beat the Reds next weekend, or will play them next weekend, says him. Yeah, looking to make it. Slab is a 24-pack. Okay, so 24, you're probably looking at about 50. Depending on where it is, KFC, but they sell pizza. That would be interesting, wouldn't it? Now, currently the ball in the hands of the Highlanders. I've lost about 20 metres in these 7 phases. Trying to get over it was Kyle Preston. He's told to leave that one alone. Now off to the left-hand side. Jacob Ratamaitavuki Nepkin goes out to John Anariki. He has got the pass on the inside. Jacob Ratamaitavuki Nepkin's just not quite able to link up with Sean Withy, but 6 minutes left. And they get over the line again here. The Landers are making it that little bit closer heading into the final moment. Is the Landers backup halfback injured? Or are they just playing Pakatava 80? It seems like they're leaving Pakatava on for quite a long time. Adam Lennox yet to make his way out onto the field. In Australia, it's a total rip-off, 70 to 80. That is brutal. Once again, I am only guessing in terms of the price, but I'd say, yeah, about 50 would be, put you somewhere close. Now, Pakatava going back across to the left-hand side. Driven back again by the strong Crusaders defence. They've held on for 15 phases. Johnny Lee looking for the steal. Now Swane Vakina. Another carry for him. Currently 5 minutes left on the clock. Leonard spent a lot of time on the wing, but Taranaki says a Sporting Kiwi. So they may even consider, that was a big shot on Timothy Tavatavanawa. I looked a little bit high from George Bell. You can see the head snapping back from Timothy there. If I win my first triple bet on this game, I will be very happy, says Pro Plebe. So what did you need? Less than 55 points was your last bit, right? And currently they've had 47? So you should be all right, surely, unless, of course, the Highlanders score now. I'm on the Landers anyway. It is what it is, says Isaac. Lennox is on the wing by the looks of it. Oh, has he already made his way onto the field? I haven't even spotted him yet. Fakatava. That might have been him on that near side. Yes, it is. And a drop ball there, but going back for the penalty to the Highlanders. Now, quick tap taken by Rejan Pasitoa. He is told to go back to the mark and do it again as they weren't quite on it. Took the ref 21 phases to give us a penalty, says Jordan. $50 for a 24-pack sounds about right. Still better value than the bars and nightclubs, isn't it? Yeah, most places, any sort of fancy-ish establishment, like you go to the cricket and they charge you about $10 a can or $11. You've on in the score. This will be wearing interesting, says Kyle. Scotland need a win and France needs to lose, says Sash. Now line out throw here. Swane Vakina. 4 minutes still left on the clock. I've never been to Dunedin. Is it good? Depends where you go, but I don't mind Dunedin. It's got quite a student-based culture down there, but I think it's all right. Got some old school looking buildings as well. The main one, I think it's the old train station, is a really nice one. Have you ever made or had omelette? I have indeed. I've made quite a few omelettes. I have a bit of a secret to how to make an omelette quite nice, but it is a secret. Oh, it was almost a knock on again there from the Highlanders. Now, Falau Fakatava. Going across there to the right, finds Sean Withy. They can't give up just yet, the Highlanders. Tavatava Nawai breaks through another challenge. Every time he's pretty much held, he seems to still make his way forward. Tavatava Nawai. Now left-hand side again. Falau Fakatava. Off to Lasanga. Been out there for a decent while since the injury of Thomas Lavanini. And what did Hanoi say? That someone's Satyrs are back. And they definitely want the win here. And they're getting closer to it after the knock-on from the Highlanders. If the Satyrs get another try, I'll go down the road and grab a slab of Guinness. I'll tell you what, they're on attack at the moment, but knocked on by Lester Whainanuku, picked up by Rejan Pasitoa. And he is driven into touch. He wasn't actually out at the time that the touch judge said he was. But after that, he then was. What are your favourite ingredients to put in? I like cheese mushrooms. I like a cheese and ham omelette. Goes a long way. These drop balls are ridiculous. I see why Rennie emphasised that we have to sort out our basics. Crusaders all the way, says Asale. How many minutes remaining? Just the 2 minutes now remaining on the clock. The Highlanders, they have the opportunity to still receive a bonus point from this game. How long left? Just the 2 minutes on the clock. Looks like Antonio Shalfuni will make his way off for this Crusaders side. If Wales beat Italy and France beat England, do England come last? I thought depends on the margins a little bit, I believe. And it was the touch judge premature, Hamish, a little bit. He did get the flag up even before Pasitoa touched the sideline, but then Pasitoa did touch the sideline straight afterwards, so it didn't really cost too much. There come on the Crusaders, says Chris. It'll be very close, 2 minutes to go. Definitely if we see, well, that's the thing. What do the Crusaders, what do the Highlanders do here if they concede or they get themselves a penalty? Do you take on the 3 to then put you into... No, it doesn't quite get them enough, actually. They will go for the corner. Never mind, I did the maths. $2 into 18.5. Nice. Fair enough, I like cheese and banana or bait. Banana on an omelette. That's something I haven't experienced. So who's in form at the moment says keep it simple. Out of these two sides, I mean, the Crusaders have looked a lot better this game than they did up against the Blues, but still not their best, I don't feel. Highlanders, oh, they do get the penalty. Right, quick tap taken by Falau Pakatava. If they score within the next 30 seconds, there will still be time for another restart. Passed on the outside to Jonah Nariki. Cutting back in, gets through one. Tackled by Fiaki. 30 seconds left on the clock now. Crusaders, they will more than likely try and slow this one down if possible. Will Tucker makes the tackle still. And the Highlanders have the advantage. Offload there from Lasanga. It goes to the touch and another penalty awarded. Ooh, banana omelette sounds like something Elton John would eat. You need to try it, it's delicious. So do you cook the omelette and then you put the banana cold on it, or do you cook the banana with the omelette? Like, do you mash the banana into the omelette, or is it like circles of banana? I'm very curious now. But they're in the red. They can still get a bonus point from this game, the Highlanders. They cannot win this game. And come on, the Crusaders, we need this. Says Myers, yeah, it does get the season slightly back on track for the Crusaders. It would make it 2 wins from 5 games, winning 40% of them at this point in time. The game next week up against Moana, they're anticipated to win that one too. Maple syrup on an omelette goes hard, says Pro Pleb. Now scrum feed Jamie Joseph watching on closely. Some angry faces from even the Crusaders box. No wingers at the Highlanders getting black jersey based on this. Caleb, go now. It's clear the players work harder not to score. It's away or knock on or drop ball. And the penalty awarded to the Highlanders. Fakatava takes it quickly. Can they sneak the bonus point at the end of this one? The Highlanders. These two sides have been separated by 3 or less. 6 of their last 9 encounters. This one will be separated by more, even with a try. Egg and an omelette is surprisingly good. Says Jason in circles of bananas. You put it in with the cheese. Interesting. Cheese and banana is something that I've never heard of. But I'm kind of intrigued now. Let's go the boys now. Rejan Pasitoa passes on the outside. Jacob Ratamaitavuki Nepkins. That was a little bit dumb from him. Decided to go with a round-the-back pass rather than just passing it normally. And that will be the end of the game. They lose this game by 11 here. The Highlanders, the Crusaders victorious, 29 points to 18. But a bit of an anti-climax in the way that one ended. Ratamaitavuki Nepkins just trying to be too fancy with it, rather than just passing it into Nariki's hands and getting that ball. Our wide got to give it to the Landers, punching above their weight, all things considered. Says keep it simple. And fish heads on toast is kind of, or with Kinas is nice. Says Matthew now, yes. Says Pro Gleb. And Atina Nana Saturo over Jacob Ratamaitavuki Nepkins all day. And Jamie Joseph is having a hard time. Says Red 7. And there too, but nonetheless, that is the end of this contest. Ladies and gentlemen, next game that we are going to be covering on the channel, it is going to be taking place at 12:40 a.m. New Zealand time tomorrow. That is the match between the Bulls and the Stormers. Alongside that, we've got the 3 matches of the Six Nations back to back to back. So be sure to tune in for that too. I thank you all very much for watching. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. I'll see you all for the next one.